Hi, my name's Natalie Wexler, and I'm the author of a book called The Knowledge Gap. The book is really about a problem with the way we've been trying to teach reading comprehension in the United States and in some other countries for the last several decades. There's been a lot of focus on improving reading outcomes, and despite massive efforts and a lot of time, money, and energy, we have not improved overall outcomes, and we haven't narrowed the gap between students at the top and bottom of the socioeconomic spectrum. Now, there's been no shortage of attempted explanations for why we've made no progress, but what I stumbled across was something that no one was really talking about, and it's a really fundamental and pervasive root cause, not only of our failure to make progress in reading, but of a lot of other seemingly intractable problems in education as well. So here's the basic problem. Elementary schools spend hours every week on so-called reading comprehension skills, like finding the main idea or making inferences, without much regard to the content, because that is considered secondary, relatively unimportant. And as reading and math tests have become more and more important in the United States over the last 20 years, more and more time has been devoted to these comprehension skills. They seem to be the skills that are being tested, and less time to subjects like social studies and science. And that's especially true in schools where test scores are low. But evidence from cognitive science tells us that the most important factor in reading comprehension is not generally applicable skill in something like finding the main idea. It's really how much knowledge the reader has about the topic they're reading about. And so the more general knowledge you have, especially academic kinds of knowledge and the vocabulary that goes with it, the better you are able to do on reading tests. You'll have a better chance of understanding those passages on the reading tests and demonstrating your skill at something like finding the main idea. And this phenomenon that we have come to call the achievement gap really reflects the knowledge that some students, basically students with more educated parents, have been able to pick up at home. Usually those families also have higher incomes. And those kids will have an advantage on the tests. The other kids depend on school for that kind of knowledge, and they're actually the least likely to get it there. So what can we do to narrow this gap? Well, basically the opposite of what we have been doing. We need to spend more time on social studies and science and those content-rich subjects that really have the potential to expand kids' knowledge. And that's especially true for those from families with less formal education. And we have to start early, because the longer we wait to start building that knowledge, the harder it is to narrow the gap between haves and have-nots, and also to make up for the gaps in the background knowledge we assume kids have by the time they reach high school or college. The good news is that an increasing number of schools in the United States, and I know in the United Kingdom as well, have started adopting literacy curricula that do focus on content, that focus on building knowledge rather than these largely illusory skills. And the results, it's still early to really have randomized controlled trials or something like that, but the results have been very promising. And certainly what I've seen in the classrooms that I've visited has been extremely encouraging. So thanks for listening.